Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
To save lives, the city has poured tens of millions into increased hospital capacity and testing facilities.
Are considering what their new normal will look like as they plan to reopen in the near future.
Total of 68,824 New Jerseyans who have now tested positive.
There's a lot of uncertainty among parents, especially those who plan to send their kids off to college in the fall.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Aiden Dunn. Hill School students have been in quarantine for just over a month now. Let's check in with some students and faculty to see what they have learned with all this free time on their hands.
The guest we have on today's episode is Bella Basil, class of 2021 from Douglasville. With quarantine and all this free time, what have you been doing to stay busy, or what have you learned with all this time on your hands?
My grandma lives very close with us, so during all of this time, I've gone and visited her like almost every day. And in that time, I've learned how to sew and embroider things on clothing.
All right, well, thank you, Bella, and stay healthy. The next guest that we have on today's episode is Will Schaller, class of 2022. With quarantine and all this free time, what have you been doing to stay busy, or what have you learned with all this time on your hands?
A little bit about how valuable spending time with my family is, trying to do some projects around the house, been laying floor, installing lights, new lights like chandeliers and things like that.
Join us on the show today. Make sure you and your family stay healthy. Clinician, instructor of psychology, and head boys water polo coach, Mr. Jones. With quarantine and all this free time, what have you been doing to stay busy, or what have you learned with all this time on your hands?
And exercising a bit more, doing things like yoga, sort of weight training and ab exercises and push-ups and things like that. But also definitely embracing the mindfulness, meditation piece, as I like to do in general. To answer your question of what have I learned, perhaps the biggest thing I've learned is really embrace the pace and embrace the new flow, if you will.
Do you have any advice as to what they might be able to do to help embrace the pace? And
wait at least 5 minutes before checking your phone when you wake up. And so your mind isn't getting in that sort of racing thoughts and go, and what do I have to do kind of mode. So waiting at least 5 minutes has been a new part of my routine. And then taking a moment, I'm all for the meditation piece. I generally meditate every morning, but taking a moment during my meditation time to just even say that to myself, embrace the pace. This is enjoy the flow of the day, enjoy how this day is going to go, to really sort of think about the day ahead and calibrate myself for just embracing how it's going to go, think it through and reassure myself that even though it may feel unsettling at times, it's fine. It's just what it is right now.
Join us on the show today. Make sure you and your family stay healthy.
Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate you having me on.
It was nice to hear what some members of the Hill community have learned during quarantine. Make sure you guys stay tuned and come back next week for next episode. I hope all of you and your family stay healthy.